Hello teachers, so for today let's talk about lesson extensions. Hello teachers, hello teachers. This is my first vlog. So what are actually lesson extensions? How do you do it and why do you do it? Lesson extensions is how you're gonna expand your lessons so that you can check the understanding of your students in regards to your lesson. It is just like a review of all the lessons or all of the things that you have discussed were able to sink in their minds, or they were able to retain what they have learned in your class. In NativeCamp, the usual lesson time is 25 minutes, more or less, right? So let's just say you have finished the lesson for 15 minutes. So what are you going to do? Why do we need lesson extensions? Because every student is different. There might be zero English learners, there might be beginner students, there might be advanced students, and so on. So we really need to adjust to our students' level. So what if this textbook is too easy for the student? So there's no challenge in there. As much as possible, we need to challenge our students so that they will be able to challenge themselves as well based on the textbook. If I can see that my student is advanced, then I try to challenge my students based on their learnings. I try to focus on why questions. If my student is a beginner, I try to ask a lot of yes or no questions. This time, how do we do lesson extensions, or how do we actually do it? So before we start, lesson extensions are not applicable for Kalan method. Kids Talent, Business Talent, and Regular Talent is also not applicable for 18 lessons, for first lesson students, and also it's not applicable for free talking. So this time I will give you 5 ways on how you're gonna extend your lessons based on the textbook that NativeCamp offers. First, ask the student if they want to start with the next textbook or they want to go to the next textbook. So for example, you would have Grammar Beginner 1. So if the student is finished with Grammar Beginner 1 and you still have a lot of time left, you can go directly, or you can ask the student politely if they would like to change to the next textbook, or they would like to start with the next textbook. So of course, you need to let the student change it first, and then the teacher will follow. If the student doesn't know how to change the textbook, you can go to Japanese phrases and then give them the correct Japanese instruction. This lesson extension is very applicable, especially for side-by-side, for Let's Go, and also for TOEIC. For TOEIC lessons, if you offer or you suggest to the student to change the next textbook, of course you need to skip the revision part and you go directly to listening to the audios. Number 2, ask the students politely if they want to practice the conversations. Again, especially for grammar lessons. So some students, not all, they would like to practice the conversations more. So politely ask them. Some of them, but not all. Just politely ask them, because some of them would like to do the conversations again, or the short conversations again, especially for grammar lessons like advanced or grammar advanced. Third, ask them if there are some things in the textbook that aren't clear to them yet, so that you can further explain it to them. For grammar, you can ask questions like, do you have any questions about the questions after the short conversation? Do you have any questions about the grammar structures? How about the grammar box? Do you have any questions? How about the words and phrases? What words are new for you? For topic talk, you can ask them questions like, do you have any questions about the role play? Do you have any questions about the words and phrases? For the TOEIC, do you have any questions for each sentence A? Is it for each sentence B? Or how about the linking sounds? Do you want to practice the linking sounds more? For speaking, is it picture 1? Is it question number 1? Are there any words that are new to you? Do you want me to teach you more precise words, or do you want me to teach you better words or expressions, or how you can say it well, or how you can say it better? For pronunciation, is it the second sentence? Would you like to do the overlapping again? Would you like to listen to each sentence again? Would you like to listen to the first sentence again? How about practicing the linking sounds again? Or would you like to do the time trial again? Bottom line is, we need to always initiate to our students, because sometimes, or most of the times, they are too shy. Most Japanese students are shy So it's very important for us teachers to initiate. Give them clues, ask them questions, which is answerable by yes or no, and then connect with them. Fourth, this is very, very popular. Ask them if they want to have a free talk. Never, ever, ever ask your students, why do they study English? Because it's a very, very common question the teacher asks them, and more likely, they already know the answer. Of course, as teachers, our goal here is to challenge our students' speaking skills so that they would be able to challenge themselves as well, for them also to learn new words or expressions, or for them to express themselves better. Let's go. For example, I still have 5 minutes with my students, and of course, I can usually read my students' mind wherein they're very, very tired, they're exhausted, they have already too much information to absorb. So what I usually do is I play games with them. For example, our topic in the lesson was all about colors. So I try to do a game, which is bring me. So bring me color red. So the student runs and get color red. For example, the topic was all about the house. So I would try to ask them, do you have a sofa in your house? Where is your sofa? Can you show me your sofa? Or for example, the topic was all about things at school. Bring me a pen. Where is your pen? So I also get my pen. Just make sure that all your questions for this lesson extension is related to the topic. And also always remember to always initiate with your students. Just like for example, my favorite color is pink. How about you? What's your favorite color? I like tonkatsu. How about you? I like penguins. How about you? Do you like penguins? That is how you're gonna ask them for let's go. And of course, if your student is adult, you need not to mime or to do hand expressions, because of course it's already understandable and it's a basic question already. So as much as possible, we need to adjust our way of teaching according to the student's level. Never ever ask your students what you want to talk about or what you want to talk about in your lesson, because it might give them an impression that you're not ready for the lesson. For example, if a student took grammar and then the topic was all about, do you like natto? That's very common, right? Ask the student if he likes natto. And more likely, the engagement of the student would start from there. And then, if the student says yes, ask them, how is it made? Is it cheap? Is it expensive? Is it common to be eaten in breakfast, in dinner, or in lunch? Or is it more common to be eaten as snacks? Yes, and also share with your students. I've never tried natto, but I want to try it soon. I have tried natto and it was very challenging to eat because of the smell. So for example, let's just say in a speaking class about the policeman, for example. So in the speaking class, of course, or I think 10 questions, it depends. I try to ask the student, if you were given the chance to be a policeman, would you like to be one? Have you ever tried a situation wherein your attention was called by a policeman, or the policemen in your country armed or unarmed? Because in the Philippines, all of the policemen here are armed. Again, always engage with your student about the topic that you have discussed in your lesson. Regardless of the topic, always think out of the box. Do not always rely on the textbook. Try to think outside of the box. Always. That's what I usually do with my students when I try to extend the lesson. Number 5. Give them the oh moment. I really love to do this with my students because I would see their reactions like, eh? So it's a very common Japanese expression when they get surprised. For example, I have discovered that my student is also a swimmer like me. So I try to ask my student, what is your favorite swimming style? And then my student would tell me, I like crawl. And of course, I'm not familiar with crawl. Crawl is just like a Japanese layman's term, but it's actually freestyle. So I discussed with my students the 4 competitive swimming styles. She was like, eh? Now I know. Or I tell my student, do you know karaoke is very, very popular in the Philippines? During occasions, Filipinos usually sing it at very high volumes in front of a lot of people. But in Japan, we usually rent a private karaoke room all for yourself. And the reaction would be like, eh? Do Filipinos feel shy, or do Filipinos feel confident about it? Aren't Filipinos gonna feel shy if their voice is not so good? But Yeah, so I usually do the karaoke only if, I'm drunk because I feel very confident. Or I sometimes tell them, do you know baka means cow in the Philippines? And they would be like, eh? And I would say, yes, but in Japan it means stupid or fool. The engagement would start from there. Do you know in the Philippines, people are free to change jobs from time to time? But in Japan, most Japanese people stay in one company until retirement. They would be like, how do you do that? Why? Do you know the goods in 7-Eleven in the Philippines are mostly sold piece by piece, but in Japan, it's sold by pack. So yes, that is it for the 5 lesson extensions that you can do during your lessons here at NativeCamp. Again, the importance of lesson extensions is for us teachers to know that the student has fully understood the lesson, or the student was able to sink in all the information or all the things that they have learned in our lesson. So again, just a quick recap. What you can do is, first, offer the student if they want to start with the next textbook. Second, practice some conversations again if they want to. Third, ask them if there are some parts of the textbook that aren't clear to them yet. Fourth, ask them if they want to have a free talk with you. 5, give them the oh moment. This is where you're gonna give a lot of trivia. So yes, that is it for this video. If you want to join our Facebook group, I will put the link down below. And please make sure to answer the membership questions, because we need to make sure that all the teachers in that group are NativeCamp teachers. So if you do like this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. And if you still haven't subscribed to my channel, do me a little favor and do so. It would really mean a lot. And please turn on the post notifications so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Again, it's Shafi, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!